thought it was time I do an episode about Future Classic. I was asked a couple of weeks ago on an episode by a viewer, and I have to say thank you to everyone for watching my episodes. It means the world to me. I thought it was about time I pushed my boundaries and started getting a bit creative. So as of today, I promise you that I will have creative episodes throughout the month. And today's episode is basically that, a Future Classic episode. An episode about kits that I think from the last 5 years, so 2015 to 2020, that I think personally will be future classics. The term future classics can be, in many ways thought of as a kit that we look at now, and in 20 years time, this exact kit will be worth a lot of money, or it will be sought out by a lot of people. Now, not every kit today that, is popular in demand or high in demand, that is, I don't think a lot of the kits will be valuable in the future. I think every kit has its sort of ups and downs. For example, this one at the moment is sort of last season's news, and I don't think anyone's gonna talk about it, but in at least 10 years, there's gonna be, conversations about redesigning kits, and it really depends on where United is as a club, but also it really depends on where the sort of design elements for football shirts are. Of course, then we have this kit, and we all know the away kit for Inter Milan this season takes some sort of inspiration for this kit. If I didn't have this kit, I'd be madly sort of looking for this version to be able to have this one alongside the new one. So I believe it always depends on influences or whatever at that time is sort of the craze of the football scene. So Future Classics is a big call in a sense, so a lot of my opinions today are my opinions. Let me know in the comments below what you think will be a Future Classic. It was really hard to put a number on the amount of kits that I really wanted to talk about today. I could have gone between 5 and 20, I could have done about 30. There's a lot of kits out there, there's gonna be amazing and many obscure kits that I could have chosen. Of course, there's other kits out there that maybe I never heard of. For example, there might be a third or fourth shirt from a club that I personally don't follow or have seen on the news or, in Twitter. So forgive me if I've missed some kits. These are the kits that I've come across in the past, 5 years that I believe either me or a friend or someone in the community has really wanted, and I think that these will be a future classic. Now, within this collection, there's going to be some special kits in that, saying that, sometimes a kit comes out, for example, the Puma version of this one, where only a certain amount of kits are made. Let's get into this. There's 15 today. I'm really excited. And again, I like your thoughts. So let me know in the comments below what you think about my choices. Now, this one's a bit of a hard one for me. Being a United fan, when I came across the third shirts for Nike, I immediately fell in love with a lot of them. I was really excited to know that, certain elements of the Drake Ramberg era were implemented in future designs. The fact that Chelsea had this kit made me really upset. A lot of my friends had purchased this one, and looking at this kit now just reminds me of how envious I was when it was first released. The photo shoot with the beautiful photography behind it was something that I always desire with football releases. And being a photographer myself, when I do football shirts with Melbourne City or any other club that gives me the opportunity to work with them, I always make sure the photos implement and help the kit sell. And this one here was amazing. Everything that Nike did for this kit was beautiful. The fact that this kit was released for Chelsea really hurt me. I would have loved to have seen it any other Nike squad, but you will see another third shirt within this collection. Now, this kit itself is a special one for certain people because Tammy Abraham had one of the best seasons for himself. I think he really sort of showed that Chelsea was the club of the future. A lot of the youth footballers coming through the scene, and of course Frank Lampard at the time. But I don't know, this kit here I reckon will be a future classic, more so because of the design. And forgive me if I look over there, it's the kit that is on the screen. Looking at the photo, the red trimming around the neckline, the actual collar, the standing out of the blue, the detail within the material, it is one of the best sort of Nike third shirts of its generation. I do have one that's also in the collection, and I will definitely show you what I mean about it when I have it in my hands. But overall, I really think this one sold out, and I think it's going to be a hard one to sort of obtain in the future. If you do have this one, amazing work, and I really think you should keep good care of it, because this is definitely one a lot of people will look back at in many years to come. Now, number 2 is a bit of a weird one because I do have it, but I can't find it within my collection. It's definitely somewhere in my house. When I found out that Jordan was moving into the football scene and Nike had this sort of plan to change the way we see football, I was really excited. To be honest, without this kit here, I don't think we'll see a lot of the designs from from recent times like Palace and Adidas, and of course Braindead with AS Roma. But again, even Human Race with the Adidas designs they made last season, I think it was all thanks to the Jordan brand. And of course this season we see the beautiful home kit. Of course it's missing the Hector design, but if it wasn't for this shirt, I don't know where we would be without collaborations. Although Baller times Puma has been a bit of a misery, so I'm hoping if they do a new version this season, we do see something exciting. But this kit here was a standout. Not only was it a full black and white kit, it had detailing of the Jordan DNA, but also it was Mbappe's first sort of proper season at the club, and I think exceptionally that this is one of the best PSG kits. When we talk about kits being influenced by certain milestones or moments in their sort of season or careers for footballers, I think, you know, clubs like Blackburn and Leicester City really have the moment where they win the Premier League, but will their kits be valuable? I don't think the Blackburn kit more so, because the fans that collect the jerseys are more so collecting the kits for their designs. There are some shirts that we collect for the certain moments. I know a lot of neutral fans will be collecting national jerseys not knowing of what sort of season or even performance they had during that time of the history. But when it comes to certain kits like this Ajax for number 3, I believe it is the moment that this club and the team of youthful players really showed how amazing Ajax sort of, you know, the system of academy was. The shirt, amazing detail with the gold and the black and the white. I think Adidas made a simple kit and the players made it look a lot more amazing than what it is. But it is that moment where I think this kit did, you know, get a higher influence on a lot of us viewers because of the moments they had and of course the plays they have. So this is definitely number 3 on my list, and yeah, I think it's one of those kits that are going to live on forever, knowing more so the moments than the actual kit. When I first saw this shirt on footy headlines as a rumour, I was really confused and questioned why they were ruining Drake Redberg's reputation. Of course, I've made an episode about this one, so I won't talk too much about it. But this is again on my list because it is one of those kits that has been influenced by the past and now it will influence the future. Will we ever see a kit like itself for, you know, Dortmund? I think Puma will move on. We'll see some other manufacturer come into play at the club. But I think this is definitely one of those special kits that not only had a limited run, which is sort of unfair for most people that really wanted this one, but I think the kit itself is definitely going to be one that's influential for certain moments like Sancho and Haaland being at their sort of prime time. And then we also got to see Bellingham, you know, introduce himself in the Bundesliga. So I really think this one's going to be special to a lot of neutral fans, but also Dortmund fans that really got to see their team, you know, push the boundaries during a terrible season that 2020 was with the pandemic and not being able to watch the club in person. Not only seeing Jonah Hill and Drake wear this one, I was recently able to actually hold this kit for the first time thanks to Colt Kids in a recent box that they sent over to me. I made an episode, you can definitely check it out in the comments or wherever. I'm gonna link it right now. But this kit here is a bit of a special one. It was brought back to life thanks to the Human Race collaboration. But when we think about this kit, we do think of that Jonah Hill photo or even the Drake photo, but it is the season that Juventus had an outstanding season, but it was more the sort of sponsorship of Jeep in the middle, just standing out the black, and yeah, I think it was perfect fit. And it was also before they modernized their logo, so I think this is going to be cherished a lot more because of their more pre-modernization version of the club. I think Juventus is a really special club to a lot of Italian fans. But as a neutral, I think this kit here is definitely one of those statement pieces for lifestyle choices. I think a lot of people that purchase this kit will have no affiliation to football. And I think this is definitely one of those kits that a lot of people will find on a hype beast or, you know, high society, because I think this is one of those kits that just says football without even saying football. So it's just another item. It could definitely be, you know, slapped on with a few other, you know, items or Virgil Abloh. So this is one of those statement pieces that I think the kit sort of loses its football sense and becomes more of a statement. Number 6 is going to be a bit of a weird one for a lot of you. Maybe you have not come across this kit, but I personally think this Jimi Hendrix sort of inspired wavy kit for Seattle Sounders this season is going to be one of the best MLS kits of the last 5 years. Like I said, this is definitely a list from 2015 to 2020, so there's definitely some other kits that I've missed out of similar design, but I really think this one's going to be special. Now, I've not seen it actually be worn, so it definitely may have, and I'll try and put a photo here if I can find one. If not, I have to say this is definitely one kit I need to buy soon. I'm waiting for a few sales, so that's definitely a good advice for you if you're buying kits in today's sort of moment. Always wait for sales, don't rush into the first purchase. This is definitely one of those kits that, you know, plays along color, but also design. And I think for a club like Seattle Sounders, this is definitely putting them on the map for neutrals and just fans across the world. The kit design itself is going to be inspiring for many years. We may see it implemented throughout other clubs around the world, but I think this purple and sort of greeny fluoro vibe is definitely something I would not be able to see anywhere else but Seattle Sounders. So I'm really excited. I think the message behind it is one of my first models or you know, spiels that I really like, and I really think this is going to be a future classic. Number 7 is a choice that a lot of people will maybe disagree and agree on. I love this shirt a lot. The Renaissance designs for Puma and Italy were by far some of the best I've seen at the Euros. Really sad that we didn't get to see all 3 of the original ones pre the sort of release of that special Puma kit a lot of teams and the national teams got. I do believe that this is one of those kits a lot of fans really connected to. I know a lot of Italian fans personally that love this one. I think the gold detailing on the Puma crest and even the club, I believe the gold detailing on all the sort of badges and the crests here are really what stands out. But it's that navy collar alongside the green that really makes me sort of wishing that I was Italian. I think the detailing of these ones were the best things ever, and I think it was sort of a little bit of a teaser that Puma was really not messing around, finally being on the spectrum, and I think they were there to show other manufacturers that they really wanted to push the game. Being champions of Europe now, I think this shirt, you know, did get a lot of attention, and I don't think there's many stock left. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of stock available soon. So if you do come across this one online, definitely purchase this one and keep it in great condition. This is definitely going to be one of those Italian ones that we see alongside the 94 and many other versions. It does have a successful sort of outcome through it. So when it does get replaced, or all 3 get replaced of the current sort of, you know, group, I think this is going to be one of the standouts. This kit here, I've actually done a review of. I really like it. When I saw it in person, I thought to myself, I really need to buy this. I regret not buying it now because not only do Ultra not have stock of it, but I can't find it anywhere. If you are able to find this in medium or large, link me in the comments below. If there is a vapor or dry fit version of it, please also link me because I would love to have this. I know a lot of people don't like Leipzig, but I think this kit here, Nike put a lot of effort into, and I think it was unique. Similar to what the Jimi Hendrix design we have in this list, but I think this one's a lot more special because 1, it wasn't worn, 2, it wasn't worn, and 3, it wasn't worn. This kit never got any sort of daylight on the pitch, and I'm always going to be confused. I know Phil Dowles from Phil's Corner definitely tried to make a bit of a, you know, a research blog about it on the Football Shirt Collective, so definitely check that one out. But it's the orange detailing along all the blue different colors, and I love everything about this kit. I think this is going to be one of those kits that a lot of people will talk about in the future, and I do think that if you do have this one, yeah, the price on this one's going to go up in many years. I wish this was available in long sleeve, but being a short sleeve kit, I have seen, you know, different sort of designs. I know there was talk similar to the Liverpool one that there's a little bit of changes on some kits. So yeah, keep a hold of this one. This one's going to be a great one. The club had a bit of a different season. They came second in league for the Bundesliga, which is kind of exciting for a club like them, but they reached round of 16. And let's just see where they're going to be in the future. Of course, being a United fan, we always complain about the relationship we have with Adidas. We always look at Arsenal and get really jealous. I really wanted to add the away jersey, Bruce Banana sort of redesign of Arsenal within this collection, but I think it was just too easy to add to this collection because I feel like that one was really sort of like a bait for Adidas to be like, hey, look, we're here. But I think as a United fan, I really do have the privilege of saying that we have been neglected by the manufacturer, but it was in 2018 when we got to see this kit, and when I purchased this, there was no intention of having this massive collection that I do today. It was something that I represented with the kit that I always wanted. It was that unique 1992 away jersey that I do have in my collection now. Now, to look at it and look at this one alongside it, I'm really excited that I bought this back then. Not only do I have this within my collection, but I think as a United fan, this is definitely going to be one of those kits that we look at and we sort of make the Holy Trinity. There's going to be a third one of this coming soon. There is evidence that in the 21-22 trio of kits that are being released by the club, Adidas is definitely trying to pull on those heartstrings of United fans with influence from the past. We're going to see some redesigns of 3 amazing kits, but I'm not a huge fan of them as of yet. I still believe this is one of the best kits that Adidas has made for us, and I would love to see a lot more of these designs come into play. I don't know, what do you think, United fans or neutral fans? Do you think this is the best United kit of the Adidas era, or do you think it's the camo design? Now, not only was this kit beautiful to look at on the pitch, but the promo had Pogba in it. I think it was just post UFC, and he literally just matured, and a lot of us sort of fell in love with his sorcery on the pitch. But it was the arrival of Lukaku and Ibrahimovic, Matic and Lindelof at the club that really got us excited. I think it was the turning of tides for United fans. We finally got a new coach into play that we're really excited about. Not that he did much, but Jose was the man for us. And yeah, it was really exciting to see United in this beautiful kit. The detailing on this one, everything about this was one of my sort of, yeah, it pulled on those heartstrings, and I'm really excited that I have this in my collection, and I really look forward to seeing the price of this one go up. Almost done, guys. I'm so sorry for keeping you this long. Now we have a bit of a different one here because being a United fan, I hate saying that I like Liverpool kit. This kit here is definitely going to be one, like now in 2020, we look back at the Fowler generation. We look at those kits and say, well, I wish we had a Carlsberg design. I think even though the Standard Charter sort of sponsorship on this one sort of doesn't really, implement or make the kit a lot better, but I think the design of this kit is something we're going to be talking about. This is definitely a future classic, more so because a club like Liverpool having something outrageous like this after many years of their Warrior and Under Armour sort of terrible kit they had with New Balance as well. I think Nike did a great job. A lot of neutrals definitely like this one, like we see with the Spurs away shirt this season. It's going to make a lot of people talk, and I think that's the best thing about Nike in the last couple of years. This kit definitely is one for future classics. So if you can get your hands on this one, I think classic football shirts have a few left in stock, but this is definitely, again, going to be a colorway, a kit, everything. It's going to be inspirational for many years, and I think this one is definitely going to be one for Liverpool fans. If you do miss out on this one, I'm really hoping you do find one, because this is definitely going to go up in value. I did say I have one of these. This third shirt for Nike was the one that made me fall in love with third shirts. When Nike teased that they were doing something exceptional for their third shirts, I knew we're finally going to get some amazing kits for future generations. We did see last season, 2020-2019 version, the three stripes for the sort of inspiration to the Umbro Nike that Inter had many years ago, but it was this one dedicated to Pirelli that I fell in love with. We all knew that Pirelli was soon to leave, so I think the dedication and sort of the love letter to the brand that made a lot of people fall in love with the shirts. I think this one definitely was a great send-off. I kind of wish this was the last Pirelli shirt, not the fourth shirt we saw last year. Even though I bought it, I kind of believe this is definitely going to be one of those kits in many years that we look back at and sort of regret not buying. I know it was between this one and that turquoisey green one the season before that a lot of people actually would have loved and wanted. I think that one, the price has just skyrocketed. For example, I think there was a shirt on sale for 250 Australian dollars, even though the shirt probably sold for $100 on Nike.com. So I'm not sure the value on this one. I should have probably researched that before this episode, but everything about this, the small detailing of the yellow around the neckline and the sleeves, the massive sort of slap sticker label on the front with the Pirelli, and that black and yellow badge prior to the new version. I think this was a sort of an inspiration to the modernization of the club. I'm really sad to see Pirelli go, but this is definitely one of those kits that we're going to look back in the future and think to ourselves that Nike really dominated this season's kits. Now, going through a lockdown, this shirt was released during one of the toughest periods, a lot of us staying at home and basically watching every day go by. But it was the football shirt community that really connected and bonded during a really tough time. And it was this shirt by Red Star Paris or Red Star FC that really got us talking. We are Asset FC, a creative agency from the UK, collaborated with Adidas on this beautiful kit. It really connected to the fans and the community of Paris. Being in a city like Paris alongside Paris FC and PSG, I think this club definitely has that sort of community-based connection, similar to what we see with Venezia, and it's pretty funny that both of them have got now sponsorships or manufacturers connections with Kappa. Really excited to see what that will come about, but I think this shirt here really connected a lot of people. I do have an episode about it, so definitely check that out. But I think even though they are in the third division in France, this club has a lot of history and sort of connection to a lot of people around the world. as a neutral fan or actual dedicated fan, this is definitely a club that you can jump on board and sort of connect to. Everything about this shirt is going to be something that we're going to sort of cherish with Adidas Condivo designs. I think I compare this shirt to a lot of other shirts in Adidas's portfolio. The design elements of this one really connected me to researching about Japanese prints and just different artistic forms, and I love everything about it. The Vice magazine sponsorship on this one is what connected me to the club many years before that, and I think as a future classic, this is definitely going to be one that a lot of people will sort of envy in the collections of others, and I think it's going to be one of those confusing collections, but I think it's going to be one of those additions to a kit collector that looks back at and thinks to themselves, I was pretty lucky to get one of these ones. 3 more to go, and I'm going to go pretty fast on this one. It's the Roma 1920 third shirt. Similar to the other 2 third shirts, I think this one here did an exceptionally well job. The Nike original sign with the Nike and the swoosh was just another tearjerker for me. It pulled on every heartstring. I think a lot of Roma fans fell in love with this one. It's really sad to see them go to New Balance and they tore up their contract with Nike. But I think this one here, the blue detailing, the sort of badge across the thing, was amazing. I did read that there's 2 different versions of this one. I think there was a bit of a conflict of interest or legal battle with the Serie A or Champions League. I'm not sure, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Qatar Airways is iconic on this one. We'll look back at this one like many of the other kits from the past and look at it and sort of connect ourselves to the future sort of representation of the past. And I think in 10 years time, this is definitely gonna be one of those Nike sort of designs again, alongside the other 2 third shirts that a lot of people missed out on. So again, another one to the collection. The last 2 are international kits, and it's really hard for me to look at other kits and sort of say yes or no. This one here, number 14, is something that I, again, have in my collection, but I have no clue where it is. I bought the away shirt and I bought the training shirt. The collection that Nike released for this one was amazing. It was released alongside the Nigeria shirt for the 2020, sort of season at the Olympics, but of course Olympics got delayed. This shirt here got to live itself online for a very long time until it took to the pitch, and I think this one's going to be special, more so of the unique design. Every swoosh, every sort of paint stroke on this one is a gradient. So whoever designed it, and of course it's Lane Porter, amazing effort. I think a lot of people will sleep on this one and miss out on it. There is a dry fit / vapor version I did see while I was researching, so I definitely would need to update my one. I think this one here is going to be sort of iconic for the South Koreans, and I think this is going to be iconic for a lot of people in the kit collecting scene, and I definitely would love to get a name set and numbering on this one. My one doesn't have a number, but looking at the photo on the side here, it definitely has a sort of special, unique spot. So if you do have a player spec version, please let me know. I definitely would buy it off you, but this is definitely going to be a future classic. Finishing off with a little bit of a bang, I think this kit here, again, is going to be an iconic shirt, more so of the design than its moments on the pitch. Japan is currently wearing it at the Olympics. It has had its time on and off the pitch, but I think this one here is iconic, similar to what we saw with the Leipzig design. I think this one here is not only a special design for the Japanese Blue Samurais, because a lot of us love Japanese kits, and I do have one here I'll have to show. It is this beautiful Nakamura number 10 World Cup shirt. Something about the Blue Samurais as a neutral we all fall in love with, so I definitely am excited to see this one become iconic. I don't think I'll ever get this one with a name set or numbers, because it is definitely sold out as of now. And again, if you do have this, keep this one in good condition. I really love this one. I just wanted to show it off. But yeah, that's number 15 on my collection. Well, I hope you enjoyed the 15 kits that I've selected for future classics. Again, one thing I like to disclose is no pressure in collecting shirts. Don't get sort of pressured into buying certain shirts. If there's a new shirt coming out, don't rush into it. If someone else buys the shirt, you don't have to buy it. Please understand that when I make these episodes or when everyone else talks about football shirts, there's no actual pressure into collecting. You should do it on your own free will. Collect shirts that you like. The list that I've compiled today are shirts that I think will be valuable in the future, and I think they're special to a lot of people. I don't have every shirt in this collection. I would love to have them, but I do have my limits as well. Now, one thing about talking about, buying the bit of big craze and rushing into shirts is when this one came out, I bought it straight away. I didn't really understand the hype and demand for it until everyone around the world was seeking it. Now that died down, and then this shirt was redesigned and released. Now, there's still a lot of, hype around this one, but there's a lot of stock left over. And with that in mind, I think that we all need to understand, if the shirt does get released and you have this thought that it's going to be sold out within a couple of days, please understand that these days a lot of kits get over manufactured, so there's definitely going to be a lot of stock left over after a couple of days, if not months after its release. Take your time when purchasing a kit. It's going to be a lot. The list that I've made is more so telling you that these kits have now passed 5 years time, and I think if you are looking to buy certain kits, they're going to be there at the start. There's no rush, but give yourself at least a year to purchase a kit, unless you're buying something like the Inter Milan one where it's sold out without the sponsorship. So always keep an eye out within the football community. Always go on Twitter, research, ask around, because there's going to be people out there that are able and willing to help you. Always feel free to ask me questions. There's a lot of collectors out there that are happy to help. But of course, I think my main message is never rush to buy football shirts, and there's always going to be one available. It just really depends on the price, and there shouldn't be a pressure on buying it now or then. At the time of both these kits being released, I don't think the hype around them was as it is now. So I can't imagine some of the people that have sold these ones and regretted them. So having this one and many of my other kits in my collection, I just want to say I just really love the fact that football collecting is at its peak as it is now. I think we're going to be in a great sort of scene for the next couple of years. I think the football shirt collecting scene is definitely growing. So if you are watching this and trying to work out what to buy, start anywhere, enjoy it and have fun with it, because there's literally no rules in collecting shirts. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video. As always, please leave a like, leave a comment below. Stay safe, stay away from stupid people, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you and goodbye.